But
Awesome. And we've been doing these interviews. This is me moaning at the South African athletes because we've been doing these interviews for a long time, and this is the first after you is the first South African I'm chatting to because it's a pain to get South Africans to come onto the podcast. even even at World Bench last year when we started this, to get the guys to come on, they're like, so hopefully this inspires them. So
okay.
Emmannuelle, yeah, welcome to Coffee and Conversations with Champions. It's the powerlifting edition because you are a powerlifter. It's awesome to have you here. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are, and then we'll sort of get into your journey as to how you started in powerlifting?
Yes. So I am from Canada. I'm from
Hmm.
central Canada, a province called Saskatchewan. And I'm a mother of three boys. I work full time, and powerlifting is one of my passions. I absolutely love it.
Oh, it's awesome. And as I said when we were chatting on Instagram, my first Saskatchewan uh, interviewee, so which is kind of
Oh,
cool.
that's
Yeah,
exciting. Yeah.
I think the first Canadians that we chatted to were was Jessica, and then also Mimi Frank. Was great to chat. And we've got a few sort of on board because I was fortunate enough to meet a lot of the team at World Bench, and we were saying the other day that I love all the teams, but Team Canada is my favorite. You guys are awesome. So
Oh, there's some pretty nice people on our team.
100%. I think there's
Yeah.
the whole country is nice people. So yeah,
Yeah. Well,
yeah. Okay, fair enough. So, uh, how did you get started in powerlifting?
so I've always enjoyed weight training. I've
Mm,
done weight training since my 20s, I guess,
right.
on and off, I would say. And when I had my three children, I still kind of in and out of the weight training room and tried to keep
Awesome.
up with it a little bit. And then afterwards, I started kind of getting interested in bodybuilding. I think, seeing people on stage and the
Mhm.
muscularity, I thought that was pretty cool. So I decided to actually do some bodybuilding. I did two competitions, and quite honestly, it just wasn't a great fit for me.
Mhm.
Absolutely loved doing the training and all of that, but not so much the stage part.
Right.
And
And the
with
diet
actually
part.
how,
Sorry, how was the diet part? Sorry
oh,
to interrupt.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, no, no. I mean, if I'm being very honest, it created some very disordered eating for me,
Okay. Mm,
especially after the competition, after leaning out and that sort of thing. It just, it wasn't good for me. So that was something I acknowledged and knew that it wasn't
yeah.
good for me mentally. So,
Yeah.
and when I was doing the bodybuilding, my coach at the time, my bodybuilding coach, had set me up to, well, she had recommended that I do a body composition um, analysis, I guess.
Mhm.
And so I reached out to Taylor Baker, who was also a coach at the time. And anyway, that was my first exposure to Taylor in terms of coaching. And he's a powerlifting coach, but he
Mm,
also does all sorts of, like, different types of coaching. Um, but it piqued my interest, and so when I was done with the bodybuilding stuff, when I knew it wasn't a good fit for me, I reached out to Taylor and I said that I was interested in trying this powerlifting thing. But to be honest, I wasn't really thinking I would compete. I was
right.
thinking I wanted to try that style of training because I'd
Mhm.
never done it before. And but then I just started to get hooked. Like it, you know, so I was totally doing the powerlifting style of training.
Mhm.
I started at the end of 2019, and and then basically, I think it was in the new year, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll try a local comp. then of course is COVID. 2020 was COVID.
Okay.
My Yeah, so I had to finally my first comp was in 2021.
Hmm.
Um, so I did a couple like testing days and things like that in the gym. But just with everything being so closed down and everything, I didn't get to compete until 2021 at the very end of the year. And yeah, and so that's how I started.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about the first comp. What was that like? This is sort of my favorite part of the stories when people talk about their first competition. What was that like? What did that feel like?
Well, so I was really fortunate because
Mm,
the first local comp that I participated in was in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. And even though Moose Jaw is a smaller community,
mm-hmm,
um, that competition is run by the Stins. So Ryan and Rhea Stin
mm-hmm.
run that competition, and it's top notch. Like even though it's local, they know what they're doing.
Right.
It was so smooth in the warm up room, smooth on the platform. Like everything was great. Um, I found out that I'm an extremely nervous competitor. So I
Okay.
I I do. I get quite anxious and quite nervous. Uh, that was a huge discovery for me. Um, it was, but it was also really like I don't know if I would call it fun because honestly I did have quite a bit of nerves. But I really liked it. Like I
Okay.
liked being able to test myself. I liked
Mm-hmm.
being able to, see what I was capable of and just, and also I had my parents came
Oh,
I had
awesome.
my yeah, and I had I don't think all 3 of my kids were there, but I do remember hearing one of my sons just screaming, on my 3rd attempt deadlift, and that was just such a
Oh,
great
sure.
great feeling. So, yeah, so I really did like my first experience, but I did like I said, I did discover I get nervous, that's for sure.
Did you find that out sort of in the warm up area, or was it like stepping onto the platform for the first squat? What was it like? When did it hit you?
No, I knew in the warm-up area.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Right.
definitely it was hard because I was like trying to eat. I was trying to like, get my carbs in and do all those
Mm,
things.
mm,
And
mm.
I was like, I do not feel like eating at all right now. I am
Uh,
just, you know, yeah, for sure. I knew it right then and there when I got there.
So, how did you deal with that stepping onto the platform at the first comp with all the nerves?
So I purchased a media package for that first comp, and you
Okay.
can literally see me throughout taking deep breaths, like
Hmm.
just like yeah, yeah, like I think it's really funny because like I see some of the videos and stuff, and I can just see myself taking very deep breaths and just
Okay.
like trying to bring it all down. Yeah.
And calm it down. So, from that first competition now to wearing your Team Canada kit, what was
Hmm.
that? What was that journey?
Yeah, so um, I ended up competing and qualifying for regionals. So I went to regionals, and then I qualified for my first nationals in 2023. So that's one of my favorite
Hmm.
competitions. I think I started to find my groove in that one
Okay.
a little bit more, like what do I like in terms of prep in the warm up room and that sort of thing. And yeah, I think I started to feel more comfortable competing as well. And then I then applied for Grand Cayman, so the
Okay.
NAPF competition in Grand Cayman,
Hmm.
and competed in Grand Cayman in 2023. That competition was also one of my favorites because um, it was very well run, but just the whole vibe. I had my whole family there.
Hmm.
We decided to make it, a family trip, and that was really special as well. So, um, and I have to say, the coaching team that we had for Grand Cayman was just. in my mind, exceptional. I felt
Awesome.
taken care of. I felt like, you know, the head coach was there reserving our bench, in
Yep.
the warm-up area super early in the morning so that we had great equipment and all that
Hmm.
kind of stuff. So um, that was really good. And then to be honest, I wasn't going to apply for Worlds. I applied for everything because I didn't know what I was going to qualify for. So at nationals, I came in second.
Hmm.
So that means I wasn't guaranteed a spot anywhere.
Yeah.
Um, and so I applied for everything, and I wasn't going to go to Worlds in Mongolia. But then I don't know. I just decided, I was like, you know what? I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'll have another opportunity. I don't know. Um, so I went, and that may have been one of the most difficult competitions no, I would say it was the most, and not
Hmm.
because it was Worlds, not because of the level that it was. It was really because this is the first time that I had ever traveled such a
Yeah.
distance. Um, I was tired. I was tired from NAPF in August.
Hmm.
Like, it did not give me, because if you think about it, it's like I had maybe 2 months, not even, to
Mm.
prep for Worlds. So I was going in from to heavy singles back into heavy singles pretty much. Like,
Yeah.
it was a
Sure.
lot. I felt tired. Um, the setup in Mongolia, like, it was a great competition. So I don't, want to criticize it all, but it was a little bit
Hmm.
difficult to maneuver in the warm-up area and that
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Very, very well
And
put. So yeah, we
yeah,
understand. Yeah.
yeah, and I don't know, and I was quite nervous for that competition, and I remember walking up to do my squats and feeling like my legs were going to fall out of from under me because
Sure.
it was like a ramp, and
Hmm.
it was just nerves and fatigue, I think.
Mm.
But I managed to do um, reasonably well. I came in second to Kimberly Walford, so I mean, I can't complain.
We
Like,
do. Yeah, we do need to do one of these then. Absolutely awesome.
oh my goodness. Yeah, so it turned out well. Not my
Hmm.
best performance, not my best competition, but I did what I needed to do, and I was extremely happy once that competition was done to get a break, to just
Right. Okay.
not a break from training, because I don't do well not
Mm-hmm.
training. I
Hmm.
am actually very committed and consistent and disciplined when it comes to my training. But I just needed a break from those, like I said, those heavy singles and that
Yeah.
type of training. So
Okay.
yeah.
Also, I mean, the Mongolia was quite a long trip. We've chatted to an athlete who had a 3 day, I think 3 or 4 day delay in Turkey on the
Oh
way there.
wow.
So all of these things can hammer you. So let me,
Absolutely.
yeah, let me put your mind at ease quickly. So Sun City is an exceptional venue. It's out of this world. No ramps. Everything's flat.
That's
Okay,
great.
because
That's
I don't
good
want to
news.
walk. I don't want to walk up a ramp in sleeves. So everything's flat. You know.
Yes,
Uh,
exactly. That's great.
yeah, the venue is 100 meters by 50 meters, and half of the venue, so 50 by 50, is the warm up area. You've got
Oh
doors on
wow.
either side of this. If you can imagine, it's like a giant dome, long dome, like an aircraft hangar. Doors on either side, so lots of fresh air coming through. The weather's going to be really nice and warm, sort of 26, 28. Absolutely lovely. Humidity is not too heavy at all. And 14 racks in the warm up area,
Beautiful.
and a gym there as well for the athletes of 4x. So there's also not the challenge of athletes trying to train in the warm up area, you trying to warm up while people are training. So there's none of that. So it's simple, easy. The venue's easy to get to. You can walk there from the hotels. There's shuttles up and down. The foods are fantastic. The breakfasts are epic. Yes, you can tell whoever's barking the breakfast is fantastic. We'll bring him a sausage. And so,
Sorry.
it's, yeah, no, don't worry about it. There's a lot of swimming pools at all of the hotels. There's great water parks, beautiful nature, beautiful jungles and forests, and you're in a game reserve. And the security is exceptional because it is a casino, the resort. So there's exceptional security, and you pretty much don't need to leave. Everything is there, and it's huge. And it's, if you want to walk to clear your head, if you want to be out in nature a little bit, even in the evenings, there are beautiful gardens to walk through. And what's lovely with the gardens, they were built nearly 40 years ago, so they're really well established, massive trees. Really, it's a very special place to compete and train. I've never been to a better venue, and it's world class. It sets the
Well, and
standard. Yeah.
I've heard so many great
Mm.
things about it, and I have a good friend that went to Bench Worlds, and I've been just drilling her with questions, and she told me everything was top
Mhm. Yeah.
notch. So,
The only
yeah.
problem with Sun City was your lifter Brian making us all look very bad by the swimming pool. So that was the only frustrating thing. The Iron Unicorn, because he's shredded.
Oh, that's so
So,
funny.
yeah. So, no, but it was like, it's so much fun because like Team Canada had their corner by the pool, and sort of then everyone congregated around that, and there were all the little camps around the pool, and you're walking around and socializing, and then swimming, and then going to get some sun, and it's a great atmosphere. The cheering is phenomenal because there's a huge amount of seating. It's really comfortable. Like, you're going to go down and support your team. You're going to get some sun and have a
Yeah.
swim. So it's absolutely stunning. A lot of fun. Really, really cool. So talking about Sun City, is there anything that so just before we actually get to that, when you started out with your earlier competitions, were you surprised with your strength gains, where your strength was moving, how strong you were getting?
Yes. Um, yes. Honestly, I never imagined that I would be competing at a world level competition. And um, when I was younger, I always was that person that tried for the team, but I was never the best. I was never extremely athletic.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
It just, I wanted to, but it just wasn't there.
Yeah.
And it's incredible to me that, at 48 years old, I found something that I absolutely love, that I feel like I'm so passionate about, and just like I just feel so encouraged in this sport.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like I don't know, how special is that I get to experience this at this point in my life. And I question sometimes, maybe I appreciate it more than I would have at 14 years old, or whatever age I was
Yeah.
trying out for all of these teams, or wanting to participate in all of these
Sure.
different sports. So no, I feel so um I feel so blessed to be able to do what I'm doing right now. It's it's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. It may not. It may be more appreciative, and I'm sure we would be at this age than at that young age. And I understand exactly what you're saying. Never got picked for a team myself, so it was always that's why I went the martial arts route. So it was just me fighting someone else. But the and by the way, I also was not very good at that, but I just stuck with it. So I can show you all the injuries in Sun City, like.
Oh.
But I think the understanding of the value and the understanding of what it means to be, I mean, if you look down, there's your Team Canada t shirt at this age is much deeper and more profound than when we are younger, than we could ever imagine. Could we just have more life experience? So what does it mean to your boys to have like a super strong mom? Do they go around to other boys and like, my mom can bench your mom?
That's funny. Um, I know very much that they are proud of me
Mm,
and proud of what I have accomplished. And um, I know sometimes my oldest son, I do remember I was in one of those parent-teacher interviews, going in to see how your child's doing, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden the teacher started asking me questions about competing and that sort
Yeah.
of thing. And so, it was that moment that I realized my son is going to school and he's talking about me and he's talking about what I'm doing. And
Sure.
so, I can feel that he is very proud of me and what I'm doing. And, and sometimes if I don't often do that, but sometimes I'll show my sons like, "Oh, look at this. I, got a rep PR today, or I did something like that or whatever." And they'll be like, "That's so ridiculous. How are you even doing this?" And whatever.
Yeah.
So, um, no, and I can see they know me. Like they know I train early, I go to
Hmm.
bed early.
Hmm.
They see that the way that I eat, I'm very
Hmm.
focused on my nutrition. I put a lot of emphasis on self-care, and
Yes.
they
Awesome.
they see all of that. So,
So I think,
um,
and it's the old adage of children do as we do, they don't do as we say. So how do you see that affecting them in terms of, because I mean, powerlifting is a wonderfully honest way to live. We were chatting to Martina Pisano, one of the Great Britain under 47s earlier, and she said she loves the sport because it's honest and everyone in it is honest. And because you
mhm,
can't cheat the bar, you can't cheat the weight, you can't cheat the lift. And
that's right.
everything, if you're not looking after your nutrition, you're not looking after your sleep. And I'm so grateful that you brought it up, because if you're not looking after your self care, because you could quite, so this could become a punishment if you're not doing it correctly and you're not supporting yourself correctly. Self care is vital. If you're not doing all of those things, you're not going to be getting the numbers that you want on the bar. The bar doesn't care, it's brutally honest. How has that
Mhm.
sort of helped them see the world and understand? And is it guiding them to a healthier lifestyle, making better choices?
You know, um, I do see that. So the way that I would answer that
Mm.
question is that it's not immediate. Like
Mm, yeah.
it's not like all of a sudden, they see you and they're going to copy
Yeah.
everything you
Yeah.
do and that sort of thing. However, I see things like, for
Hmm.
example, if I'm going to make myself a meal and like my middle son, oftentimes he'll come and see me and he'll say, "Can you make me that too?"
Sure.
So like because I'm very honestly, I sometimes oftentimes have to eat meals that are separate from my family
Hmm.
because I have to eat according to my macros and what
Hmm.
my diet allows. I can
Yeah.
eat a lot of food. I'm not restricted, but I do have to make choices.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so, I see him come in and say, can you make me what you're having?"
Sure.
Absolutely, I can make you what I'm having. I can see also the level of commitment. I've got a son that's a hockey player, and I see his commitment to going to his practices, to his training camps, to his whatever. And I'm not saying that I'll take all the credit for that at all, but I do believe that it has something to do with also seeing what I'm doing as well.
Hmm.
My commitment
Hmm.
to the training and that sort of thing. I just don't show up on comp day. I show up every day,
Every day.
like
Wow. Love that.
even if I'm not
Yeah.
training, I have to show up every day. And so I do think that they see that. And even like I talk about my middle son, he this year I honestly have seen just a different side of him and a different level of commitment. And I would like to think, I hope that he sees some of that from me and is applying it to his life. But it isn't like all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, okay, well this is what I'm going to do and I'm going to
Mm,
copy
mm,
everything and I'm going to go to bed early and whatever." I mean, it doesn't, in my mind it doesn't work like that.
yeah. But I
Hopefully
mean,
long term.
it sets principles in terms of self-love, self-care, healthy. And I think also if the energy and the attitude that you bring towards the training and the sport, where it's a love and it's a passion, it's not a have to do, it's a want to do, teaches them that the habits that you formed around that are appropriate. Because I've been sober. I've mentioned this quite a few times. I've been sober for next year will be 18 months. Excuse me, 18 years next month. So been sober for a long time, and I've gotten to go to schools and to talk to kids about alcoholism and addiction. Also, vaping is a big problem in South Africa, and I see it so often that the kids who are struggling are coming from homes where drinking is open and allowed and encouraged, and the parents are getting drunk frequently. The parent, not at a 50th birthday or a 60th birthday, but every weekend, couple of times a week, and then they wonder why their children are ending up in rehab. Where truthfully, the parents should be there as well. So the habits that we do in our day-to-day life has a profound impact on kids. The, I've seen it from the good side and I've seen it from the bad side as well. And I think it's commendable because you're living honestly and you're looking after yourself, and that does definitely rub off on those watching.
I have to say that I did see on your Instagram page
Mm,
that your sobriety, and I don't know your story. Um, I myself gave up drinking. I think it's over 7 years now.
sure.
Um, I've never been into drugs, let's say, like,
Yeah.
even in Canada, marijuana products are legal here. I've
Mm.
never gotten into it, so I have no intention of starting now. And I just think like
Sorry,
sober
just
life
with
is the best life.
it's the best. I was going to say with traveling for internationals, you can't afford to get into drugs. Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right. Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's the new drug,
But
the powerlifting. That's it. No, absolutely. Sobriety is exceptional. It's just like look at what I get to do. I think today you're my fifth interview, and I think we've done by the end of the week. It'll probably be about 40, 45 interviews that we've done, and it's like Saturday night. This is the perfect example, right? Saturday night, my first interview was at 9 p.m. because I love the Canadians, and I finished at 12:30 a.m. And then I started on Sunday at 1 p.m. and finished at 9 p.m. that evening. I think it was over 10 in a 24-hour period. Can't do that if I'm
yeah,
drinking, you know? And
no,
I've seen the sport do so much good because I'm fortunate enough to get to work with addicts in early recovery at some of the treatment centers in Johannesburg and in South Africa. And just to see, particularly powerlifting, what it means to them. And there's some stories that I'll share with you when I see you in South Africa privately. I'll bring, if I can, I'll introduce you to some of the guys because they're happy to talk about it face to face. It's not for me to do it yet on the public domain. I'm just saying that to scare
yeah.
them. Uh, watching this, but it
Uh,
just,
I would
this,
love that.
yeah, the courage. And I just wanted to commend you. It's just, it's a wonderful way to live. And I think for anyone who has cut something out like that, we have a focus every day for self-care, and it fits in really well. So I wanted to ask you if you can share it. What do you do on a daily basis, a weekly basis, a monthly basis for self-care? How do you look after yourself?
I have a few different ways of looking after myself, but I would say that I really enjoy. I walk every single day. I really
Okay.
enjoy taking the time to get outside. It doesn't matter if it's minus 40 degrees Celsius here in Canada. Like, literally, I'm out there.
Pardon,
I'm
je n'ai
I
pas les
I
anglais. Qu'est-ce que tu veux? Pardon? 40 what? Minus? No, geez. Okay. We moan we moan when it gets below 12.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
no, I mean, I know how to dress for sure
Yeah.
for winter.
Okay.
So making sure to get outside is extremely important
Mm,
to me.
mm,
Um, my mornings are like my peace. I train very early. I get up at 4 a.m.,
mhm,
but I also get up and have, like, my favorite thing in the whole world is a cup of black coffee. and, and I give myself the time to wake up and to come and sit and have
mhm.
a few moments
Sure.
by myself in the quiet house without anyone around.
Mm,
and just enjoy that black coffee and have those moments of peace.
Awesome.
Um, I also, in the evening, it's really important for me to have my little routine. Like I take the time in the evening, even just like that process of like washing your face and flossing
Mm-hmm.
and brushing and just having a few minutes. And
Sure.
I'm, very fortunate to work for an organization. I have a subscription to Headspace. And so in the evening, I'll always listen to, sometimes it's just music, sometimes it's a meditation,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's some sort of like message or whatever. But um, that is part of my evening routine also.
It's and that grounding sort of at the start of the day and at the end of the day. That's absolutely brilliant.
Very much so, yeah.
So you are absolutely going to love Sun City because the walks are just beyond amazing. I think you can also do walks in the Pilansberg in the game reserve, but they've also got the golf courses at Sun City that you can walk around. And absolutely, just watch out for the crocodile pit at the 13th at the Gary Player Country Club. Uh, no, they've got crocodiles in the bunker. It's part of the fun, so they're crazy. Um, Usually, the Americans say, "Oh, look, a Lacoste sleeping bag." No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, Americans. I'm joking. I'm joking. Sorry, going to get into trouble here. And that's the also. I always travel with my Nespresso machine. I think we went through about 400 pods at World Bench last year because the coaches kind of found out about me because I struggled when we started this podcast last year at World Bench. It was so hard to get people to come and talk to me because I feel like who you, what's going on here? No one wants to. So I opened up, took out the coffee machine, got all the coffee pods. Then it was like, oh, could I have a coffee? Sure, but you have to come and chat to me. And that's where the term coffee and conversations with champions
Oh,
came from.
nice.
So, yeah, so there will be good coffee in the morning. So, firstly, at Sun City, the coffee is fantastic. The baristas are amazing. And if you want to, and they really, the staff at Sun City are incredible. If you want to bring a thermos flask with you or a big thermos coffee mug, and they'll fill it up for you at breakfast, and then you can bring it down to the venue with you, so that you can have that. And I'll also
Excellent.
have my machine, and you're more than welcome to pop down and grab a cup of coffee. Double espresso, and just to help with the start of the day. But yeah, if you wake up early, you can get your coffee, and you either most of the rooms have balconies. Go sit on the balcony, just take your cup and go for a walk through the gardens and the lawns. It's absolutely fantastic. It's really really cool.
That's
So,
great.
how, if I may ask quite a personal question, has how powerlifting helped you be a better mom? Because I've loved chatting to the moms on the show, and it's just like how it's becoming so involved and like and I mean from the point of being strong and seeing that strength. And it, I hope it's no longer breaking stereotypes, but it's not the typical thing. So it just, strong rocks. It's the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah. You know, it's an interesting question
Mm,
because I mean, the thing is that I know that my children, when they look at me,
mm,
they know that not all moms look like me,
yeah.
and not all
Not
moms
all moms,
do.
well, yeah, look like superheroes, but
Yeah. And not all moms do what I do.
mm,
And I want to be very super clear that, I don't think that I'm better than another mom or
yeah,
whatever, like not at all. Um, but what I really hope that they see when they look at me and they see what I'm doing is number one, you're never too old.
yeah,
You're never too old to do this.
absolutely, yeah,
I know a handful of athletes that got into this when they were older, not, like there are the Kimberly Walfords of the world that started
mm, mm,
younger and are now master's level. But you're never too old. Um, and I think for them, I think they see a lot of commitment from me, a lot of discipline,
Mm.
a lot of sacrifice. You know,
Yeah.
I won't lie, there are times where um if I have to be up super early and I have a very important training day, I may have to leave my son's game a little bit early.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I try very much not to do that, but it happens on occasion. But I communicate and I let my son know, like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry that I'm leaving early, but I
Mm-hmm.
do have this important thing. And I think that's okay. Like, I
It
think it's okay
100%.
to
It
put
yeah.
yourself first
Yes.
sometimes, because I do put them first a lot of times. So I do hope that they get these messages, again, it's maybe not these messages that are like very, flat out put in their faces, but, that
Yeah.
they get them in a roundabout way that,
Yes.
they can see what I'm doing, the commitment I'm making, the discipline it takes, um, all of these things, and that, in the back of their minds, it sits there.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're ready for it, they can use it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sort of with leaving to train, but explaining it and talking to them. I mean, that's showing the valuing of self doesn't mean that we don't value
Mhm.
others. You know,
100%.
and it's just that there has to be that balance, and it's a great lesson to teach them because then they can value themselves while valuing others. So absolutely phenomenal. If,
Mhm.
if we chat a little bit about the community, Um, how's the powerlifting community for you? What does it mean to you? We've heard wonderful stories. I mean, like again, Canadians are awesome. You guys are really cool. What's the powerlifting community mean to you?
Um, it's so interesting how when you start in the powerlifting community and you don't know anyone, and then it grows. And every competition you participate in, you meet somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
and then you might see them again, and then that bond becomes stronger and that sort of thing. Um, I really, really noticed it. So our schedule in Canada got a little bit thrown off this year. So I participated in Westerns, so that's a regional
Mm-hmm.
competition back in March. And when I was at Westerns, I saw all of these people that I saw at nationals. I saw some of them at Grand Cayman. I saw some of them
Mm-hmm.
in Mongolia, and it was just so fun to like see them and reconnect. I have people that I have never met before through Instagram that I feel like I know.
Yeah. So
Our
true.
top Canadian M1 76 kg athlete, Melissa, I've never met her, but I swear I have a friendship with her. So, I'm really looking forward to meeting her in Sun City in person. One of my closest friends is lives in BC. She's a power lifter. She's got a wicked deadlift, and she'll be in Sun City. Looking forward to reconnecting with her as well. Yeah. Um, and and another friend, I was able to connect with in Grand Cayman, and
Mm.
we chat all the time now in text and that sort of thing. So it's and even in because they created these team chat groups in
Mm.
Instagram and WhatsApp, and it's fun because now when people are writing messages, I can put a face to the name, and yeah, like it really is. I've always been a community person, quite
Mm-hmm.
honestly, and so I really um I really love the community. It's supportive, and I'm just very grateful for it.
Sure. It's
Mhm.
those first time hugs when you meet someone in person, you're giving them a hug for the first time, but it feels like you're hugging an old friend. It's like the most
Yeah.
wonderful thing. And it's a very, very special sport and a very special community. If you were to chat, we've spoken a little bit about it's never too late to start. Sort of your journey in this as a woman, as a mom. If you were to chat sort of to women that are a little bit older, maybe they think they might be past it. There's no opportunity to start getting involved in a sport. Why should they try powerlifting? There might be, busy schedules and so on.
Um, I think one of the biggest gifts that powerlifting gives to an individual, woman, man, doesn't matter, is you can do it where you are.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to, you know, lose weight, gain weight, whatever,
Sure.
whatever you are, whatever physical state you're in, you can do it. And you don't need to change for anyone if you don't want to. You don't have to change. So you can start where you are.
Hell yeah. Absolutely. As a matter of
That's
fact, I'm giving you a clap of thunder on that one as well. Sorry, I'm a 1970s DJ at heart, you
okay.
know. You can
That's
see.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is so that's it.
Um,
Damn right. 100%.
yeah, and you can do what you can do. I mean, yes, if you have aspirations to compete at regional, national,
Mm,
world level, of course, like that puts extra pressure and that sort of thing. But you know what? To compete at a local comp,
mm.
you just come and do what you can do. It
Yeah.
doesn't, and I think it's great because you bring what you can do, and then what is so encouraging about powerlifting is that you just need if you just want to focus on yourself, you just can better yourself. So whatever those numbers are, like I think that's why I got so addicted in the first place was because it didn't matter what everybody else was getting. It was what I was like, "Oh, I can do that much weight? Well, now I want to do this much weight." So then I had this other internal goal and I set my eyes on that goal. So it's when I started, there was nothing about like, oh, I want to get to the world level
Mm,
or
mm.
oh, I want to get a national record in bench or whatever the thing is. It was just, oh, I can bench press 135 pounds. Well, I want to do 145. And so then
Mm-hmm.
it's becomes this like this motivator. And so
Yeah.
I think that's why I think powerlifting is just so motivating and like you can set these personal goals and it doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. You just try to beat you.
The apps 100%.
Hmm.
Absolutely. That's and you know listen, and also one other thing from my personal experience, the great thing about starting later in life and starting as a master as I did is that the qualifying criteria get easier as you get older. You start as a sub junior, things are just getting tougher, and then they throw you into opens. And can you imagine having an opens after Master 4? That would be terrible. Uh, you know, it gets easier for us. So we get stronger, and the criteria get easier. So it's just time in the game. It's time in the gym. It's time on the platform, getting that experience, and you'll get to
Yep,
what you want to get to, which is such a cool thing. Sure.
it
So,
is.
yeah, South Africa. Any expectations? Anything you can discuss? I don't want to get into trouble with any coaches, and but you want anything about Sun City that you're looking forward to?
Well, so this is my first time competing at Worlds as a
Mm-hmm.
69 kg, so I've dropped a weight class compared to what I was
Mm-hmm.
in Mongolia. Um, the top four, well, I mean, anyway, it is going to be it's going to be a tight race to get
Yeah.
that top three. Let's just put it that way. Um, I have some personal goals in terms of like my squat has always been my most challenging lift,
Mm-hmm.
and so I mean, I have personal goals in terms of PRing that lift. Bench is my favorite, and I would say it's my strongest lift. So um, I sure would like to medal for that one. And
Awesome.
deadlift, I also really love deadlift. We'll see how that goes, but I mean, sure, it'd be fun to medal for that too.
Yeah.
But it is going to be extremely competitive. Like this is it's gonna be a little battle.
Yeah, but I mean, the battle is the
So
fun. Your battle is the fun part. You don't want to be out there on your own. You know,
right.
it makes it really really cool. So I mean, I
Yeah.
competed recently in Asia Pacific Africa champs, and there were two of us, and the guy that I was up against, I mean, I'm sort of, I haven't, like, I'm maxing out with a tweaked shoulder at about 125, 135 on the bench. The guy was up against did a 185 in previous. That's what was posted. And I just figured, yeah, let's go have some fun. See if I can mess with him a bit, get him to break something in the routine and see what happens. And taking silver in that was still fun. It's a blast. It beats going out on
Yeah.
your own. So it's
Yeah.
going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we're looking
Yeah.
forward to meeting you in Sun City. I'm doing the announcing. So you'll have
Oh, that's
you'll
fantastic.
yeah you'll have a familiar face saying bar loaded, and that's it's gonna you're gonna get out and you're gonna do a cracker first squat, and the squats are gonna go so easy. You're gonna be like, wow, okay, this is gonna be awesome. And it's going to be an awesome comp. I know these things, and no one argues with
I
me
love
because
that energy.
there's a big sign
I'll
in the
take it.
gym that says "Trust the coach and try it." So there we go. So
Yeah, that's
absolutely, you got
awesome.
it. Sure. Manuela, thank you so much for your time. We really do appreciate it. And thank you for accommodating us so easily with your schedule. It means a lot. I know sometimes the time zones can be different. I think I spoke to, might have been Jessica at like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. when I was here for me. So it
Oh,
was, so at least I'm really grateful. Thank you.
yeah. Thank you for inviting me. Yeah, this is a lot of fun.
Okay, good. Yeah, absolutely. I had a blast as well. If there's any of your team that we haven't spoken to yet that you'd like us to, please message us. Just drop me a message on Instagram, and then we'll message them so that they wouldn't know it was you, like bullying them into talking to us. All right. Su-
All right, sounds good.
Okay, super. Thank you so much. Really, we really, really appreciate your time, and we look forward to meeting you in SA. Have a great trip out. I know it's going to be a super awesome competition.
Thank you.
All right, you're
Yes.
welcome.
Have a good
Take care.
day.
You too. Take care.
Okay.
Bye bye. Oh, that was so awesome chatting to Emmannuelle from, hope I'm getting that right, from Canada. I think it's a standard thing for me. When I say a name, I'll finish it by saying, hope I'm going to get that right. Up next is finally we're getting to chat to him from South Africa, the first South African to step up for these. It's young Mr. Wayne Loubser. I can see him actually dialing in now quickly. So let me tell him we'll be starting with him in 2 minutes. But let's say hello anyway. Okay. Wayne, you're 2 minutes early. You're still in Emmannuelle's podcast. Hang on, let me bring him onto screen quickly. How you doing, dude? So we're gonna shut down for 2 minutes, and then I'll open up the link again. But you want to say hi to everyone?
Hi, everybody.
Okay. I'm quite sure
Sure.
Steve's watching as well. We'll chat to you in 2 minutes, dude. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks, man.
Ciao. Bye. Bye. Awesome. That was a laugh. Okay. Thank you, guys. Be back in a minute when we're chatting to South African powerlifter Wayne Loubser.